This edition of Tru Heel Heat is brought to you by Warrior Wrestling Stadium Series, kicking off on Saturday, September 12th. It will be on the 19th and the 26th. 3 huge shows inside a huge stadium in Chicago Heights. On the 12th, it is headlined by a very anticipated match as Tessa Blanchard defends the Warrior Wrestling Women's Championship against Kylie Ray. Without further ado, this is Tru Heel Heat. Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. We are back once again with our latest podcast, kicking off year 4, I guess, of Tru Heel Heat with Tru Heel Heat 90. On this edition of Tru Heel Heat, we will be previewing this Saturday's AEW All Out 2020, as well as discussing the latest wrestling news, including Brock Lesnar becoming a free agent, WWE NXT potentially being moved off of Wednesday nights, very interesting, and this week's NXT Super Tuesday and AEW Dynamite from Wednesday. I am back once again with the lovely, the beautiful, the princess of all the Tru Heels, Miss Krssi Love.
Hello.
Hello to you. You have your mic working this week.
The nerve. You know what I'm saying? Just start right out the gate. See what I'm saying? Look.
I you know. I always have to say a little something to you.
Mm-hmm.
We have our resident Tru Heel alcoholic back with us once again, Top Guy JJ.
Hell yeah! What's up, yo?
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, gotta actually have a perfect attendance for September right now.
He's starting off September. He's starting off September on the right foot, and to continue our streak, 3 years running ever since All In, that very memorable pay-per-view in 2018. We have had Tru Heel Heat on Labor Day weekend in Chicago, Illinois. So we had to bring one of the best Tru Heel Heat correspondents, contributors, analysts back with us live from Chicago, Illinois. Unfortunately, All Elite Wrestling is not there with him, but he is wearing his shirt from last year. He is the host of Dark Power, the man that reviews AEW Dark as well as Impact Wrestling every single week for you fine people at home. This is the StatKing, John Paul Martin.
Thanks for having me back, guys. You can almost kind of see in the background the couch where the infamous drunk guy JJ had his genesis last year. But glad to be back. Glad to keep the streak going, and let's get into it, guys.
He that's where drunk guy JJ was born. We would not have going raw with drunk guy JJ if it wasn't for that couch and the many drinks in your bar, sir. So thank you for that. So we have to start off this Tru Heel Heat with some sad news. We lost a couple of people this week. It was a very sad week to continue what's been a very tumultuous year of 2020. First of all, outside of the wrestling world, of course, I am rocking the t-shirt right here. So we have to say a rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman, the AKA Black Panther, AKA Jackie Robinson, in that great film that he did. This man is an amazing actor. He was suffering from cancer for the past 4 years. So he made one of the greatest films in the Marvel universe with cancer. So that says a lot about this man. Just want to if you guys want to mention anything about this man, I know Top Guy JJ, you had a beautiful post saying that he's one of your favorite actors and the impact that he had through his work. So definitely want to give you the floor.
This was literally right after, I believe, a recording that I was doing, and this has happened. I saw this maybe as soon as the news hit at 10 p.m. And it's one of those things that is like, I remember exactly where I was when I got that information and saw it on TV, and they're just, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, it's one of those, haven't we been through enough in 2020? Like, and it just, it's like, the shit just keeps finding ways to make you sober or like to make you somber all over again. Like it's how many different ways? Like it's almost like if like what else can happen or what else is gonna happen that we just can't
control
put in our heads at the moment, and it sucked, man. Like it really sucked because I thoroughly enjoyed his films. Like as far as the Jackie Robinson one is the one that got me a fan of his from Jump, and then turn around and saw him in James Brown, becoming James Brown, then being the legendary Thurgood Marshall. And then also, like, shout out to even one of his final movies, the one prior to his final movie, even 21 Blocks. That movie was really good. Yeah. Like, he just left a mark, and it was the Black Panther it solidified it. It made him a legend. It just said this is his mark. Like there will never be. I hope that they don't reincarnate the role, but Marvel has a tendency of needing money. When Marvel just trying to make, I think Marvel just needs. They're gonna try to find a way to make some money off this character, and I hope they don't. I hope they leave him at. I hope they leave this character in literally. Obviously, I just hope that somehow they get to build a statue of it. And that's who the Black Panther is. Like I can't unsee the Black Panther being anybody else. Like this literally that's his role, that's his character. Like he turned a role that they hesitated on making a movie and turned it into one of the biggest cultural movies of all time.
It was a movement.
Like at the end of it, like Wakanda is not even real. But we all believe that it's real.
Yep.
Wakanda is Wakanda forever for us. Like, it that was our landmark, and we will eat that shit up until we all go.
Yep.
So rest in peace to that king, man. That was my guy, man.
Yes, rest in peace to him, as well as in the wrestling world, the father of the Road Dogg Jesse James and referee Scott Armstrong, as well as Brad Armstrong, Bullet Bob Armstrong. This man has been battling with sickness himself for a number of years. He was still wrestling on the independent scene at the age of 71 years old. So he was a wrestler through and through, as well as on the journalistic side of the wrestling world, the passing of Casey Michaels of Square Circle Sirens at the very young age of 26 years old. This was a person that definitely contributed to a lot of writing and a lot of admiration to women's wrestling. A lot of the wrestling community on Twitter posted about this young man on I believe this was Wednesday when it was first the news first broke. So want to send our condolences to the family of Bob Armstrong as well as Casey Michaels. So a lot of loss this week in the professional wrestling world, but there is some light at the end of the tunnel. We want to send out our congratulations to Nick Helsler and everyone that contributed, independent wrestlers, promoters, and vendors from the Independent Wrestling Expo for a very successful weekend in Dallas, Texas, bringing back independent wrestling to the Dallas, Texas area. It is still available on Fight TV on demand, so you guys can check that out. Plenty of great matches up on there with Sam Adonis versus Brian Cage. There was a triple threat for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, so plenty of action for you guys to enjoy, so definitely check that out. And of course, this edition of Tru Heel Heat is brought to you by our friends at Warrior Wrestling with their Stadium Series that is set to begin next Saturday, September 12th, right in the StatKing's home of Chicago, Illinois, back at that stadium that Friday Night Lights was at. And we will have their promoter Steve Tortorello on Tru Heel Heat 91 to hype those three major events. It's going to be Saturday, September 12th, Saturday, September 19th, and Saturday, September 26th. So big series already signed for the card. You got Joey Janela versus Warhorse in a number one contenders match, with the winner versus the Warrior Wrestling champion Brian Pillman Jr. on the following week of the Stadium Series. Plenty of huge matchups that we will talk about next week on Tru Heel Heat. But This time is for you, the viewers, the contributors, the supporters of Tru Heel Heat and the Tru Heels. This is our Tru Heel roll call. Our top 3 conversation starters for this week. Our Tru Heel Trinity coming in at number 3 is Charles Kirkhoff. Coming in at number 2 is Charlie Layton. And coming in at number 1, yes, 83 weeks. He says I am boosting up his record like a Goldberg winning streak. He is the Negro Buck, Nick Jackson.
Yes, Nick. What's up, man?
As always, a couple of Tru Heels. We got to shout out Joseph Gonzalez, Braden Horick, Matt Harris, Elf Bay Razzle, Jordan Eckers, and our YouTube subscriber highlight. We got to shout out Keiju Spirit, who is a new subscriber to us. They commented on our Summer Struggle in Janku Roundtable. We want to give a shout out to Tom Conahue of Sportskeeda, who was our very first guest on any of our pay-per-view roundtables. So big shout outs to him. Definitely check out his YouTube channel for all your breaking news in professional wrestling. And Keiju Spirits commented, "Sweet, looking forward to more coverage of New Japan Pro Wrestling, new sub." So I had to comment that they are a new subscriber to us and they appreciate us covering New Japan Pro Wrestling. Kwame Shafir, who is definitely a mainstay of the comments section, commented on Tru Heel Heat 89, our 3-year anniversary. So we got to shout out Darnell Mitchell of Uncanny Attractions. I think it was Krssi Love's favorite guest of Tru Heel Heat so far, and definitely one of the funniest guests that we've ever had.
Yeah.
Kwame Shafir commented, "Seeing Roman making his surprise return in the way he did to me was phenomenal, and I absolutely loved it. It's one of the very few times that WWE was successful managed to surprise us this year. Surprise returns are one of my favorite things about professional wrestling because, like the 2020 SummerSlam tagline says, you'll never see it coming." And then finally, we have Senguru _01. They commented on Wednesday Night Warriors 13. "Hey fellas, love the intro music. Looking forward to what's happening across the board. Keep it up." So we got to shout out our StatKing for making the new intro music for Wednesday Night Warriors. Great work, sir.
Yes.
So first up, we got to talk about what we miss, and what we miss, we got to talk about WWE Payback. Had Roman Reigns solidify his new character and alliance with Paul Heyman by winning the Universal title in the triple threat over Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. What a way to end WWE Payback. Definitely a newsworthy show. What were your guys' thoughts on Roman Reigns' appearance in this triple threat match, coming in towards the latter half of this match, kicking the Fiend in the balls, assaulting Braun Strowman with a steel chair, and then winning the Universal Championship for the second time? We will start with you, Miss Krssi Love.
I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I thought that at least let the Fiend get maybe like 2 good titles, give him that. They just giving the Fiend just like rags right now. Like he's like the stepsister of Cinderella, because Cinderella came back. And I didn't see that coming. And shout out to my people that did the whole like wrestling scorecards, because I did bad on all of Payback. I did trash, and more trash. Thank you, and good night, sir.
I tried to to listen to you guys on the Payback predictions, and I went with my heart and I said Roman Reigns first, and then I should have just stuck with my heart.
I know.
Try to follow you guys' lead.
Our prediction looked like it was going to be okay,
right,
until the last 45 seconds of SmackDown. Once the SmackDown episode concluded, our picks looked like shit.
Pretty much.
You know what? You. I wish you would have put that in the chat and said something like that. Maybe you did, and I didn't see it. I don't know, but
it was too late at that point.
We can change our pick already. We did the episode. We recorded it already.
I know, but it's just like
we film on Thursday, so it's not.
I know.
We are all four on record of being wrong in the championship match, and SP actually had it right.
He did.
But our arguments swindled his opinion.
It did. You're right, and we're like, we can't win this soon. He just got back. He just came.
I won't
But
do
once
that for the
we
All
saw
Out
Paul
predictions.
Heyman, it was over. It was over.
I won't do that for the All Out predictions, but we'll get to what happened on SmackDown this week as well. StatKing, what was your thoughts on Roman getting this big win in the main event of Payback?
So, for those who don't know, generally speaking, or don't watch Dark Power, I stopped watching WWE shortly after, I think, WrestleMania, and completely stopped watching like all YouTube highlights after, I think, Money in the Bank. What I will say about what they did is that having Payback 1 week after SummerSlam, I actually watched the ending of SummerSlam, the last two main event matches of SummerSlam, because I kept up with what was happening, through Tru Heel Heat and all of our different shows, but I thought, why are they having one pay-per-view a week later? Maybe this is going to be something with retribution. They're saying you're never going to see this coming. All right, let me pay attention to these last two matches. And you have Roman come back, and I'm like, okay, all right, so now I definitely got to see what's going to happen at least with Payback. So I had a feeling they were going to put the title on him that quickly, because you need to have, if you're going to have something that jarring happen, it only makes sense to then follow through with it. Why kind of waste the return if you're going to have the match 1 week later? It was that 1 week that kind of gave me the idea that Roman's probably winning it, because otherwise you could just wait and build out a feud.
Yeah.
So I will say that as somebody who hasn't watched in a long time, the fact that they were able to get me to watch, that in and of itself shows, to me at least, that they did a job well done with this. So that's my stance on it.
I can't say I disagree with you, sir. Also on Payback, we had Keith Lee get the huge win over Randy Orton. We saw Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax defeat Bayley and Sasha Banks to win the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. Bobby Lashley defeated Apollo Crews to become the new U.S. champion, and Big E and Matt Riddle get their first major wins on pay-per-view. Top Guy JJ, you had probably the most polarizing take on that Payback roundtable, where you said that Keith Lee didn't gain anything from defeating former 13-time WWE champion Randy Orton. Please explain.
I don't think so. I don't. This is probably the biggest match that he would have on a pay-per-view instantly. If he doesn't get a shot at the championship in the next 2 months, what was the purpose of the win? I'm really trying to understand the casual fan that sees this new guy Keith Lee comes in and beats Randy Orton, and it wasn't even like a good back and forth match. The shit was 6 minutes. So you basically gave me a Monday Night Raw match thrown together on a pay-per-view at 9:30 10:30, on Monday Night Raw. And then Keith Lee gets a big victory. Then he gets put in the number one contenders triple threat match. And guess who's the one that is going to Clash of Champions? Motherfucking Randy Orton.
Of course he is. That makes sense.
But then, all right. I'm going to say this. I will take it back if it goes into a good program with somebody stellar like Seth Rollins. If he has a good program, don't give me Keith Lee going after the Black Championship, because we already know what that is. So we already know what title that is. If he go after the Dipset piece, what was the purpose of it? Because he was heading that direction anyway.
So what if Randy beats Drew for the title, and then Keith Lee is the one who takes it from Randy?
Or he's just the next one to challenge it.
That story doesn't happen because Keith Lee beats him in a 6-minute match at Payback. What does that do?
Yes, it does. Because
I recall Seth Rollins cashing in on Brock and Roman, and then the very next night, Randy Orton saying, "Yeah, you did that, but I beat you earlier in the night."
This is a story that they have done many times.
Seth Rollins and Randy Orton.
They've done this many times in having someone beat somebody on a pay-per-view before they become champion, and then it leads to them being the number one contender because they beat the champion before they became the champion. Like, this has happened since the beginning of time. And tell me what type of NXT call-up has beaten Randy Orton, because you'll be waiting a while before you figure that out.
Miss me with the bullshit with comparing that shit to Randy Orton and Seth Rollins, because Randy Orton and Seth Rollins' opening match at WrestleMania was fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
this match was
It wasn't about the quality of the match.
It was not a good display. That's what I'm saying. Keith Lee is way better than the match that was displayed at a pay-per-view.
Well, he was still learning how to wrestle in that dress.
That might have been the best comeback that I've gotten ever since. That might have been the best response.
It's not about the performance. So many NXT call-ups have had great performances. Sami Zayn has had great performances up and down the card. He never beat Randy Orton. Like it's all about the win. Nobody talks about, oh, Kevin Owens had 3 great matches with John Cena back in 2015. You know what they say? Kevin Owens beat John Cena in his first match. That's what they talk about 5 years later. Again, 5 years from now, they won't be talking about it was a 6-minute match. They'll be talking about Keith Lee beat Randy Orton clean at a pay-per-view. That's what it's all about.
Swinging and missing again, because Kevin Owens and John Cena was yet another really good match.
But no one talks about that's what you're not listening to what I'm saying. You're listening to 20% of what I said and just negating the rest of it. No one talks about them having 3 great matches. Everyone talks about Kevin Owens defeating John Cena in his first match. It's not about the performance on the main roster. It's about the result.
I don't even remember how good or bad those matches were. I just remember Kevin winning the first one. John getting the get back, and then the rubber match. That's
all right. And recency bias.
StatKing's a great example because he's a casual
from the WWE, so we get it.
StatKing's a perfect example because he's a casual WWE fan. He doesn't watch WWE all the time, so he's a great example of that. He's not gonna thinking about 5 years later, oh, they had 3 great matches, which they did. He's talking about Kevin Owens beat John Cena in his first match. In WWE terms, Vince McMahon tells the commentators to comment on Kevin Owens beating John Cena in his first match, not about the 3 great matches.
Like I said, let it turn into a good. I'm telling y'all, Tru Heel Heat 90, I'm letting you know right now, if it turns into a great program and a great series that leads to something special, I will take this back. But I am not believing in the booking.
Nobody remembers that Chris Jericho cheated to beat Austin and Rock in the same night. They only remember that the majority of people.
You're talking about yourself.
Remember that Jericho beat Austin and Rock in the same night, because that's all he says when he brings it up. He doesn't say I used a chair.
No, he says he's the first ever undisputed champion,
and that he beat Austin and Rock
in the same damn night.
Yeah,
I get it.
It's more important that he beat the 2 top stars in the same night, not that he was the first undisputed champion.
I'm completely unsatisfied. So let the booking satisfy me. Right now, I'm not. What the fuck?
I doubt you will ever say you were wrong here. But we got to get Krssi Love's comments on the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, before we move on. What was your thoughts on that tag team title match, Krssi?
I don't get it. Don't understand it. Stupid. Yeah, I hated it. Again, I did very bad on that whole pay-per-view.
Oh, I sucked ass on Payback with you.
Just trash.
I think I won like one match with you. I think we both won the same match. I think we both won the Lashley match, and that was it.
Exactly. I think that is exactly. Out of that whole pay-per-view, that's the only match I probably won. Trash. Throw the whole pay-per-view in the garbage.
I did predict that one correctly.
Wait, are you mad that the pay-per-view was actually pretty decent, or were you just mad that the matches just didn't go in our favor?
That part, yeah, that one.
Well, some of y'all were drinking way too much on that pay-per-view roundtable, because some of y'all rated that pay-per-view better than SummerSlam, and it was not better than SummerSlam.
I don't think it was
first
better
of all,
than SummerSlam.
I didn't rate SummerSlam, so
No. I didn't say you. I said some of you on that round table. You are a representative of that round table, so you have to. You're the only one that I could say you are a part of the round table. Sorry.
I accept that there was definitely a whole lot of drinking on that round table, a ton of it. And then they asked me this question about 4 cups in, and my cups are strong.
No.
And mind you, if you saw that at the beginning of the round table, I introduced all 3 drinks, and none of them were chasers.
That is true.
But we have to give it up for Romeo with the quote of the round table. Tell the fine people where they can find you at you.
At you.
I don't know what he was doing. Like, he was taking ridiculous shots for no reason. I was like, I don't know if you're just trying to keep up with the drinking, but this is what we does. We does Tru Heel Heat for like 2 hours. He's on this round table and he is talking with his eyes behind his eyeballs for like the last 45 minutes.
In Romeo's defense, he was probably very just concerned that if somebody from WWE was watching that round table, they would go to Vince and say, look, this guy Ness is not going to believe that Roman is a heel unless we have him shoot a Make-A-Wish kid in the face. And Romeo has to defend anything that WWE does.
I thought
it's like, how do I defend them having Roman shoot?
I thought this was going to be the question that SP was going to hit us with the battle between Ness and I. Like, I thought that was going to be it.
I'll save that for the next round table you guys are on.
But yeah, I don't like them being champion. I don't understand it. I thought they were gonna have like their own little feud against each other and Raw Underground. So them being champion and like diverting it from off of Sasha and Bayley, I know that they were going to lose them eventually, but I figured that they would at least go against each other when they would face each other having the belts together. Still.
Love.
Makes sense.
How we will never forget the ending of that match.
That was a great ending and made Shayna look great, but we have to move on, guys.
She hasn't looked that good since she's been there.
Hey, better late than never.
Choked Bayley out. That was fucking classic.
Better late than never. So we have to move on to New Japan Pro Wrestling Summer Struggle in Janku. We got to give it up for Tom Conahill once again, who contributed to our roundtable for that one. And it had Tetsuya Naito defeating Evil to become, once again, the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Champions. Yes, I was right on that one. Everyone else on Tru Heel Heat 89 was wrong. So I will go to StatKing. He joined us on one of our last New Japan Pro Wrestling roundtables. What was your thoughts on Naito getting the titles back, and what did you think about Evil's title run?
Obviously, I love Naito getting the titles back. I think that it could have been something that they delayed a little bit. I think it could have been given him a little bit more time with the belt, but however, at the same time, it does solidify him. The purpose behind it was solidifying him as the top guy currently in Bullet Club in New Japan. So for that purpose, that's great because they don't know when Jay White's going to get back. They don't know when Kenta's going to get back. So they need to have a top heel leading Bullet Club in New Japan. So for that purpose, I think it worked. And the match itself was great. So I think all in all, it was a good job done on everybody's part.
I will say it was much better than their match at Dominion, in my opinion. And Evil's title run was similar to Naito's title run of 2016 when he won the New Japan Cup and defeated Okada. They gave him one big show to kind of show that he can be a draw and be in the main event against Ishii, and then he lost it right back to Okada. It's all about in New Japan when you're one of I think it's one of 7 guys in the past 7 years that have held the IWGP heavyweight title. Like, your first run has to be solidifying you, and then your next run you can actually go on a run. Hopefully Naito will finally get his run because he still hasn't got it 4 years later, but this was a nice moment for him with the fireworks and everything. What was your thought on the main event of Summer Struggle with Top Guy JJ?
I'm tired of being wrong about New Japan. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's like, yo, you know what? This is why I love New Japan so much, because I feel like I'm on the Joker ride at Six Flags every event. Like, they fucking flip me and swerve me and spin me, and I got a fucking headache, and then my stomach starts. I'm like, come on, like, yo, can I act like, can I look like I actually know something about this fucking place?
Can I live?
Like, damn, I'm getting the Krssi level with New Japan, man.
Hey!
But it was phenomenal. Yo, but I'm mad the fact that it took her like 47 seconds to catch up to what I just said. She was just laughing with me, and then she just kind of like, wait, hold on. Why you taking why me?
Oh, whatever.
Picking on
But
Krssi.
I'm happy for Naito, because we was just having a debate about who fans have it worse. So I'm happy for Naito. I just hope that Evil is just not out of the picture going forward, and that character change results in future championships going forward, because I love the change. I love the turnaround. I just hope that this is a story that goes on for quite some time, because, like I said, I'm ready to get flipped and spun some more.
Yes, Naito did announce after the match that now that he has the titles back, he will be trying to defend them separately. So we could potentially see Evil maybe win back just the IC title this time around, but we'll have to wait and see. Also on the show, you had Suzuki versus Shingo in one of the best matches from New Japan all year, as Suzuki defeated Shingo to become the never openweight champion. It was big guys just beating the crap out of each other, and Minoru Suzuki is amazing for 52 years old. He's putting on such a great year in 2020. Ishimori defeated Hiromu to win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. We also had, in probably the biggest upset in New Japan all year, Toru Yano pinned Kazuka Okada to become the first ever King of Pro Wrestling 2020 champion. Zack Sabre. Yes,
that's crazy.
yes.
Like, now you get what I mean by Joker flipped. Like, I'm telling you, like, this shit, like,
I never
what?
thought Okada would be losing.
This title was created for Okada, and then they just said, nah, hold on. You think you know what the fuck y'all talking about, but y'all have no idea.
It's called Year 2020.
That was kind of the theme of Southern Struggle. We just had a bunch of surprise finishes. One that wasn't too much of a surprise. Zack Sabre Jr. and Taishi defeated Kota Ibushi and Hiroshi Tanahashi to defend the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles. You can get a full review of Summer Struggle in Janku once again on our pay-per-view roundtable that's up on the channel right now. AEW Dynamite, which we missed from Thursday, August 27th, it had Hangman Page cost the Young Bucks God bless you. Had Hangman Page cost the Young Bucks the tag team gauntlet, which was later won by FTR for them to become the number one contenders for the tag team titles. Then the Young Bucks kicked Hangman Page out of the Elite once and for all, in still the best storyline in professional wrestling. We will definitely get into it more when we talk about AEW Dynamite from this past Wednesday, as well as the All Out review. That episode also had Sammy Guevara defeat Matt Hardy in a tables match. John Moxley and MJF also signed their contract for the world title match at All Out. SmackDown, like Top Guy JJ said, the final 30 seconds was the most compelling of the show, as Roman Reigns reveals his alliance with Paul Heyman, as well as this show also had the return of Sami Zayn to confront IC champion Jeff Hardy with his own IC strap. This is your land of opportunity over there on SmackDown. Miss Krssi Love, what was your thoughts on Sami Zayn's return?
I actually am very excited about Sami Zayn coming back, because again, he was gone, due to the whole COVID thing, and you guys took his title away. Technically, he still should be champion. So therefore, this is a great feud and a great argument, and I'm looking forward to this. I hope that Sami gets a good run that he deserves, and go from there. I'm excited for it. I kind of fanned out when I was like, oh, like that. So.
He was looking very scruffy,
Krssi Love, I would definitely tell you, this one actually definitely deserves an episode of SmackDown with the Lynches.
Okay.
Absolutely.
This was actually one of the best episodes of SmackDown in a long time.
Yes.
It was a very noteworthy SmackDown, that's for sure.
Mr. Law was under the weather, but yes, you'll get the episode, don't worry.
Also, we had an AEW top star make an appearance on SmackDown in the WWE Thunderdome, as Kenny Omega's image was used during the this edition of SmackDown in a very funny type of thing, where Kenny did go on Twitter and said, "I thought nobody would notice." But also, we have seen over the last 2 weeks the return of one of my favorite things on the WWE Network, Talking Smack. After almost 2 years of it being gone, it's made its return. The last couple of weeks have been hosted by Caleb Braxton and The Miz, and the star of the show has really been Big E, discussing on the first week Kofi Kingston's treatment following his WWE title reign, and how Kofi never got another opportunity in the main event or for the WWE title, and whether he should be more serious during his singles run. Very passionate promos on both shows by Big E. What are your thoughts on Big E's push and his promos on Talking Smack, Top Guy JJ?
Love it. I love it. Like, this is what I like. SmackDown's doing. They're making some strides. Like, I think like they've been struggling for months. Like, SmackDown has been in the mud for months, and this Big E push and what's happening with Roman Reigns and what's happening with that Universal title picture, and that, like, Big E's Talking Smack little promos, and it's almost like he's being told he needs to change, but he is voicing that he doesn't need to change, but he's changing as his promos are happening. Like, it's just a thing of beauty to see. Like, I love the fact that he's getting a character attached to him that is not this happy-go-lucky, and then his in-ring performance with Sheamus at Payback was fucking awesome. It's like it's coming together. Like, it's coming together. Like, look.
It was good.
He can hate all he want. He can hate all he want.
That was a damn I'm not hating. You overpraise stuff.
It was a damn good match.
You're either overly critical of stuff or you overrate them. I'm just saying.
For two mid-card guys, that was a damn good outing that they had. Now, you could tear it how it was a good outing. They had a good work rate. Their chemistry was good. Big E looked really good. Like, I mean, everybody, I know our roundtable definitely concurred on that, and that was one of the first things.
We said, we're drinking.
Nobody really got drunk. That was the second match on the card, so people weren't drunk yet.
No, y'all were drunk way before y'all even pressed play. So, like, don't even start. Raw. We also.
Listen. Stop taking all of these shots, because I'm gonna keep defending it, and this podcast will never end. He's trying to make another 3-hour show. No, he's trying. He's trying to push the button, StatKing.
I'm trying to move on.
And he got this little Luther Vandross voice on right now because he got to keep the temper down. You know what I mean? You motherfucker,
I'm honestly just trying to move on to Monday Night Raw, where we had Randy Orton defeat Keith Lee and Seth Rollins in a triple threat match to become number one contender for Drew McIntyre's WWE title at Clash of Champions. Aleister Black continued his heel run, attacking Kevin Owens once again. We had, sadly, the iconic split after losing a match against the Riot Squad and Aces and 5/8.
Why? Like, I like that. Why? Like, help me understand that.
I need you to help me too, because I don't get that one either. I was like,
they get broken up because of fucking Riot Squad.
It's stupid. It makes no sense. Well, I mean, please enlighten me. Please tell me if you know anything.
The reasoning behind the iconic split is apparently Vince McMahon is high on Peyton Royce, and as she is seen as one of the
they're not really future, but whatever.
She is seen as one of the future stars for the women's division, along with Bianca Belair. So Vince McMahon only sees a future in Peyton Royce, doesn't really see that in Billie Kay. And if you know Vince, you know if he sees one member of a tag team very well, they're gonna split. So that's what happened on Raw out of nowhere with no build.
It is. Like, you can't have the iconic, and they're two annoying people.
Hey, it happens. Retribution, aka Aces and
That decision was not iconic.
Retribution makes their presence known as well on Monday Night Raw as they attacked the Street Profits Andrade and Zelina Vega. Before we get into what happened on Impact,
son.
Before we get to what happened on Impact, StatKing, what's your thoughts on Retribution? I know you haven't seen much of them, but what you've seen of Retribution, what's your thoughts? We ask every guest this question.
Oh god.
I just
I'm sorry. Sorry.
I like the aces and 5/8 thing. But what doesn't make sense to me is I read that going forward they're going to be exclusive to Raw, which defeats the entire purpose of a group that breaks rules.
I've read something else, but go ahead.
It's just okay. Here's my problem. Okay, I see things. I see things.
He can't be serious.
So I see things like Roman coming back, and I watch that, and I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. I see him aligning himself with Heyman. I see the payback thing, and I'm like, wow, maybe there is something. And then I find out that a faction that breaks the rules, and we don't know who they are. So we don't. As a lawyer, like, what contract are they under? Like, what contract did they sign? and you're telling me that they're now going to be exclusive to one brand. And then I'm like, oh, so I don't really need to watch this, actually. No, I didn't.
So the crew that loots and fucks shit up is contractually obligated to be on one night.
They're now going to be exclusive to Raw, and that just confuses me.
And you have nerve to tell me to have faith in Keith Lee's booking?
Hey, I have more faith in that than Retribution.
Like, come on! They're supposed to be come fuck shit up, leave, and disturb shit. They are anti-WWE employees, and now they're exclusive to Raw.
The only way that it kind of makes sense to me is if this is a weird long con of Vince intentionally leaking that news just to be a dick and just to swerve people and say, no, they're actually on everything. Because to your point, you just said they're supposed to fuck shit up and leave. And that sounds a lot like a t-shirt that somebody's wearing. So, that's giving too much credit to Vince, but
I'm totally good on Roman joining Retribution. No, he doesn't need that. He doesn't need that at all. Impact Wrestling is the last thing that we missed on Impact. The big news coming out of there is Eric Young, the former WWE talent, the former leader of Sanity, defeats Eddie Edwards to become the new Impact World Champion. We also saw Tennille Dashwood return to Impact, as well as Johnny Bravo proposes to Rosemary to end Wrestle House. StatKing, Impact Wrestling is your home. You review it every single week on Dark Power. What was your thoughts on Eric Young winning the world title?
It made sense to me. I like how they did it. I think that coming out of Slammiversary, you had one of two ways to go. Either Eddie Edwards was going to be champion for a long time, or he was in essence just going to be a transitional champion. I don't know whether or not they're going to now move Eric Young after maybe a rematch with Eddie Edwards to Rich Swann, who is allegedly retired. I don't know if that's the plan, or they're going to have Rich Swann maybe come back after Bound for Glory. But I think that they kind of telegraphed it that Eric Young should be winning this title, and they pulled it off very well. Because last week, Eddie Edwards defended against Sami Callihan, and after the match, he was attacked by Eric Young, and Eddie Edwards said, "I'll give you a match right now for the world title." And Eric Young said, "No, we're going to do this on my time, and we're going to do it next week." And in the review of Dark Power, I said, well, that doesn't make any sense, because Eddie Edwards has just gone through a grueling match. Why not take advantage of it? So with that in mind, I was like, they have to be giving Eric Young that moment. And so I thought it was a good decision.
Yes, I agree with you. Eric Young has been one of the best heels in the business since his return to Impact Wrestling, especially with the Rich Swann feud. So I'm looking forward to see what he could do with the title. Then we got to move on to top news, and the top news story in professional wrestling is Brock Lesnar, or Brock Lesnar, becomes a free agent. Over the weekend, WWE removed Brock Lesnar's merchandise from their website, which raised a lot of eyebrows. Then it was revealed on Monday by Mike Johnson of PW Insider that Lesnar is currently a free agent, with his last WWE contract expiring after WrestleMania 36 match against Drew McIntyre. PW Insider also mentioned that WWE and Lesnar were negotiating making a new deal, but these discussions were put on hold with the current pandemic. WrestleVotes then reported that the feeling within WWE is when fans return, WWE will offer Brock a deal that he cannot refuse to return. Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio confirmed that this is not the first time that this has happened with Brock. We've talked about it before as well. Brock has done this on several occasions when his deal expires. Meltzer also reported that WWE have a certain time frame to sell Brock's merchandise after his deal is up, which is why it was removed over the weekend, which a lot of people within the know in the wrestling community and the wrestling journalist business did not even know that Brock was a free agent. It was only because of the merchandise being removed. UFC's Dana White and Bellator's Scott Coker both expressed interest in bringing Brock back to the MMA world. UFC wants to do Brock versus John Jones, while Bellator wants to do Brock versus Fedor, and there is no real rush to bring Brock back to the WWE at this point due to the current state during this whole pandemic. So what are your thoughts on Brock Lesnar becoming a free agent? We will start with you, Miss Krssi Love.
I mean, this is not like the first nor last time this will happen. You know that's Vince's man. So he'll probably take a break. He's on the farm chilling. We're in a pandemic right now. He's chilling. Like, he ain't in no rush to go back anywhere. He likes being by himself, secluded in the middle of nowhere. So he come back. Like, and I'm sure everyone will fan out and have a great time. So, I mean, if he goes to MMA, that's even great too. Take a break. Go up. He has the option of doing that. He does. That's what he's been always doing. He's always been exclusive to doing things his way. And, hey, when he comes back, he comes back.
Only time will tell. What do you guys, let's go to you, Top Guy JJ. Do you believe there is a possibility that Brock could return to the MMA world?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. It could be a one-off. I mean, he's done things like that. He could do a one-off, get a fight or two in here or there, and just come right back to the WWE. Like, that's where his money is at. That's where his paychecks are coming from. Like, Brock Lesnar ain't going to no other company. He ain't going to no other federation. He ain't going to AEW. He ain't going to NWA. He ain't going nowhere else. He is a WWE MMA lifer. Mm-hmm. Like, that is like the amount of money that it would take to lure Brock Lesnar from the WWE. It just ain't even worth it. Like, it literally, you would probably have to throw like $10 million a year at him. And he would probably give you a handful of appearances. Like, what company is doing that? There's no wrestling company that's doing that. They would rather take that $10 million and get 20 new talents and make careers out of so many other people instead of getting a couple of appearances from Brock Lesnar. So Brock Lesnar ain't going nowhere. He's just going exactly as Krssi said, take a break, spend some time with his wife, and just chill. Chill for a minute. That's what Brock does, This is what he does.
So if he does, like Krssi Love said, does return to WWE, when do you see him returning, StatKing?
If he does return, hopefully if we have fans by then, the Rumble.
You think the Royal Rumble he'll be
that or the night after WrestleMania 37.
I actually would be interested in that. That would be a nice thing.
If he does go to UFC or Bellator, he better hope he wins because he's gonna have a tough fight if he goes up against John Bon Jones. And if he loses to Bones, that WWE check is a lot smaller.
Ooh.
I have to agree with you there.
On the flip side, if he wins...
Oh, well, I mean, hey.
If he wins, Vince is going to be mad because that increase is going to be in the hundreds of percent.
Well, it's going to be in the hundreds of percent only because AEW has, Chris Jericho at least thinks that AEW could potentially, he thinks it would be a good idea for them to sign him. And we know Brock is going to open discussions with AEW, UFC, and Bellator. So that's going to make Vince up the price because Vince is scared to death of anybody going anywhere besides him.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I would kind of, I would probably, if I was Vince in that position, I would call a bluff if I was AEW. Yeah, pay him all that money for a couple of appearanrances. I'd call a bluff. Like, fuck it. Yeah, you want to offer him $7-8 million? Go ahead, give it to him.
AEW would be breaking the bank if they were
they're not. The amount of money that AEW is moving. AEW going places, man. They don't need that shit.
have to kind of agree with you guys for there. What we have
However,
Uh,
Orange Cassidy hitting that Superman punch on Brock Lesnar would be amazing.
Oh.
Yeah.
give me Orange versus Brock all day, every
That
day.
shit ain't worth $7-8 million though. I'm just saying, man. Shit
I mean,
ain't worth it.
It's not.
And then you know if Brock Lesnar make a couple of appearances, that shit ain't gonna be against no Orange Cassidy.
Yep.
Hey, you never know. You never know how AEW thinks. We got to move on
Yeah,
to
that's
more stuff on WWE. WWE and USA Network considering moving NXT off of Wednesdays. The Wednesday Night War could potentially be over. According to a new rumor from WrestleVote's Twitter account, it looks like the Wednesday Night Wars could be coming to an end. There have been ongoing talks within WWE to move NXT off of Wednesday nights. The tweet read, "Over the past month or so, discussions have transpired regarding NXT moving off of Wednesday nights. No decision imminent, however, talks are ongoing. The numbers over the next 2 weeks might have some impact on this decision." Following up from this, Fightful Select reported that the idea of NXT moving nights was originally pitched by the USA Network months back. Fightful reports that although USA has faith and a strong relationship with WWE, they are not as committed to NXT going head-to-head with AEW Dynamite as WWE is, because it costs the show viewership. Duh. In support of that idea, the past 2 weeks with NXT running unopposed has helped benefit the show's numbers greatly, with it scoring, I think, in the top 3 ratings over the last 2 weeks, including this week, but we'll get to the ratings shortly. Like the WrestleBoats report, they also confirmed that the Tuesday night NXT episodes will affect these ongoing discussions. So what are your guys' thoughts on WWE and USA potentially moving NXT off of Wednesdays? We'll start with you, top guy JJ.
Fucking hate it. Like it's come. I don't want to go back to 4 nights of wrestling a week. Like what the fuck? Like this shit was perfect, Joe. Get the Dark Power reaction from John in a 25-minute snippet. Barely get a glimpse of Monday Night Raw. Be locked in for Wednesdays. Maybe catch a few minutes of SmackDown. Now it's like, oh god, here we 4 nights again. I'm good. Like, come on, bro.
You can just stop watching Raw and SmackDown.
Oh, so,
Yeah,
That's it.
I mean, I guess it's the lifer in me. I guess I've been watching that shit for like 20 years. So I guess it's hard to just be like, here, I'm just stop watching it. I can get mad at them, but it's like it's hard. It's fucking hard. Like I grew up with this shit. But at the same time, it's like, damn, 4 nights, and then, it was always awesome to compare the 2 shows, and now I have to have a whole night of thoughts about NXT, and then a whole night of thoughts about AEW, and then I like thinking on the fucking moment which one is better, like, not a whole collective brain process. It's too much wrestling thoughts, man. Like, can I get a break?
Hey, the break is you get 1 day in between. Would you watch NXT more on a different night? We'll actually ask this question to StatKing, since he isn't watching NXT that much. Would you be more interested in watching NXT if it was on a different night besides Wednesday?
I don't watch NXT at all. So actually, I probably would be more interested in watching it if it were on a different night. I mean, I'll be most sad because I just made that new theme for Romeo and Chris, and there won't be Wednesday Night War anymore.
It would work. It would work because then it would give you the night off from doing Impact, and they can review Impact and NXT on Tuesdays. Tuesday Night Warriors.
That is true.
Would this affect the image of WWE if they moved off of Wednesdays, effectively giving AEW the win in the Wednesday Night Wars to you, Miss Krssi Love?
Let's see. I actually like them taking it off the day. I don't mind it, like JJ, but it's more for. I actually don't mind it. I actually am happy that they want to move it so that they can get their ratings, because they're not winning much days in ratings. They're winning ratings when they're not on with someone else, when they're not competing with the other brand. So. Kind of torn. I don't mind it. It's good on Tuesday. I liked it when everything was Monday, Tuesday, and then we had a break to maybe like Sunday or whatever day the next one was. We had Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Did we not have that like that before?
Yeah, because SmackDown was on Tuesdays.
Tuesday.
Right. So I mean, if we leave it, well, then damn, that is 4 days of wrestling. You're right. I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, I'll still tune in. I'll still catch it. If not, I'll record and I'll watch it over the weekend. Or catch up when I have to do our podcast. Like, whatever.
But to you, StatKing, I'll ask you this one. Do you think it would hurt WWE's image if they had to move off of Wednesdays?
Nah.
I think it would hurt. It hurts their image in the eyes of hardcore fans. Casual fans don't care to begin with, but in the eyes of hardcore fans, I think they would, because you are the most pure wrestling show that they had or have is supposed to be NXT. If that is losing to AEW, which it has been in ratings for weeks, and now you're finally, in essence, tapping out and saying, "Okay, we're going to move to a different day," and it's not even. It's you are admitting defeat. You are admitting defeat.
But what if it's the network that's saying, "Hey guys, maybe we should just make you leave"? Like, if the network is telling you gotta go, you gotta go.
But
that's still bad, because what that shows is that the product that WWE is putting out is not strong enough to have the network
put out a better product.
Because
you also, that makes sense. I can get that.
Krssi, you also have to take into account that AEW never wanted to be on Wednesdays. They originally took out the name Tuesday Night Dynamite because they wanted to go on Tuesday. But when they were picked up by TNT wouldn't allow them on Tuesdays because that's when they do the NBA.
Right.
They had to go to Wednesdays. NXT was the one that chose to move a show from the WWE network to USA to hurt AEW's ratings. So for them to then have to move nights because they decided to go up against AEW, yeah, it's gonna hurt their image.
Can you imagine?
No question.
Can you imagine how much?
Yeah.
I was just to say, can you imagine how much Vince's blood will boil if they have to move NXT? No. Yeah. How much it'll boil when they have the first post breakup episode with Chris Jericho's Demo God promo? Can you imagine how pissed off
he will be? That's actually very genius, to be honest. Can't wait.
It's like the bully picking the fucking fight, and then he gets slapped around, and he's like, you know what? Let me move to the next block. like what the hell? Like, you're gonna move a whole night because you can't beat the newcomer company?
Yeah.
Saying
you're supposed to be the WWE.
WWE would be its own version of the chicken shit heel, the way that they put out chicken shit heels. It'd be great.
No. Yeah. This is the true. But this is not a chicken shit heel, because heels do some. We tend to like heels.
Right.
This is some bitch shit.
No, this is basically Debo and Friday, and AEW Dynamite is Craig. Yeah, pretty much. But we have to, speaking of which, we have to talk about WWE NXT Super Tuesday and the go home to All Out on AEW Dynamite. Both shows were not on the same night this week. NXT was on Tuesdays because the NHL was on USA Network on Wednesday, while AEW Dynamite was finally back on Wednesday after 2 weeks. And we have the ratings numbers. So Krssi Love, hit the drums. So, for WWE NXT on Tuesday, they had 849,000 viewers in the top 5 ratings for the show for the entire year.
Wow.
While AEW Dynamite back on Wednesday nights, unopposed by NXT, finished with 928,000 viewers. Yes, they are up tremendously from 813 on Thursday night, the previous week.
So here's the problem with moving to Tuesday nights for NXT. Is that no matter what, they are going to get paired with AEW. Regardless. So whether you increase and go up to 812,000 on a Tuesday when AEW does damn near 1 million viewers, you still gonna look like the little bitch that moved to the side, and you got Big Daddy putting on his Timbs and kicking you off the block. Like, you're not only getting kicked off the block, but you're not even performing better. Like you losing in both lanes.
How many shitty thrones Cody's gonna keep breaking over and over again on TV? It's gonna
Like, oh my god, like, yo, and how do you recover from that if you're gonna move over a night and then still don't even unopposed even get higher viewers than the show that you left, and they're now growing to a point where you still can't even touch them on a new night.
Hey, NXT. Listen. I got your silver lining, NXT. You heard Impact's ratings because Impact had 155,000 viewers on Access TV the previous week. This week only had 102,000 viewers. So they hurt Impact in a way. And I'm all for, myself personally, I'm all for NXT moving nights because I will say it was much easier to enjoy both shows this week.
Yeah.
So on WWE NXT, we had a very good Fatal 4-Way Iron Man match to determine the NXT champion, or so we thought. Finn Balor and Adam Cole both finished in a tie with 2 falls apiece, which sets up a sudden death match next week on NXT Super Tuesday 2 to determine the new NXT champion. Swerve Scott.
Right. Yeah, I feel the same way, JJ. Keep going. Sorry.
Breezango and Swerve Scott defeated Legado del Fantasma in a street fight. We had Timothy Thatcher defeat Bronson Reed with help from Austin Theory, and Rhea Ripley challenges Mercedes Martinez in a steel cage match for next week's Super Tuesday 2. AEW Dynamite finished off the show with MJF bloodying Jon Moxley with the Dynamite Diamond Ring following Moxley's win over his lawyer. We had an intense and compelling promo with FTR, Kenny Omega, and Hangman Page following Hangman's ousting from the Elite to set up their tag team title match for All Out. The Young Bucks showed a new aggressive side to themselves as they and Jurassic Express defeated SCU and Private Party to set up a tag team match for All Out. We had Thunder Rosa make her AEW debut, defeating Serena Deeb, the former Straight Edge Society member, in a very good contest. Proud and Powerful defeated Best Friends in a street fight, and Dr. Goat Baker lays out Big Swole ahead of their match at All Out Buy-In, which will be a tooth and nail match. It is going to be a cinematic match. I broke this news on All Elite Recap this week, but the reason for this match being on the Buy-In and people were disappointed by this is because this match will be a cinematic match taking place in Goat Baker's dentist's office. I'm all for it. Yeah, but what was the better show for the week this week? I will start with you, Top Guy JJ.
I'm gonna go. It's hard to go against an Iron Man match. Like it's hard to go against that. Like it was actually pretty good. Like it was actually pretty good. The Iron Man match was pretty good, even though it tends to have some dud spots. I'm going with AEW. Like I'm just going with it. Like that ending. When I mean pissed me off.
Oh my! Okay, so we're on the same page.
The ending to the match of the Iron Man, like, what a fucking waste.
Yep.
Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. And first of all, that count was fast as fuck. Because Adams they didn't roll each other over on time or fucking do the spot on time. That count was fucking lightning quick. Let's talk about that. He had 2 seconds to make the shit, and he got the 3 in 2 seconds. Like let's talk about it. One thing I'm starting to get a little disappointed with AEW is Chris Jericho's matches. Like Chris Jericho, I either think he needs to start getting heavier into cardio because he's losing his ring savvy.
Is he looking
tired?
Ring
general, he's looking like he can't do what he usually does in the ring. Like he looks slower. He looks
like he's getting blown up.
Like he's blowing up. He looks it like. It's one thing to get bigger, but to still be able to do the same stuff. Mm-hmm. But he's losing that ring skill that made him so crafty in the ring. And that's the only knock that I kind of had. Like I love the edge that the Young Bucks have. I love the build up to All Out. I love that how strong they made MJF look at the end of the night. Like that to me was fucking awesome. Like that was a savage beatdown, and that the way he tongue lashed that fucking lawyer in the back was fucking epic.
Mm-hmm.
I just genuinely I just genuinely have more fun watching AEW. Like I literally do. Like even when they put on an Iron Man match with what they call the Mount Rushmore of NXT. But I'm going AEW.
Miss Krssi Love, what was the better show for you this week?
So question, Iron Man match, you have whoever gets the most falls is the winner?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so was a little thrown off by that, but I hated the ending. Thought the match was slow at certain points, but I hated the ending of it because now we have to wait yet another week for someone to be champ. Why do we have to wait another week? Like, what is the suspense? Why you just can give us that person on Tuesday, and then they can have their first defense against one of those guys that was in the match or whatever. I mean, that would have made more sense to me. But now we have to have them go on another match. Like, something that was like built and was what we were so excited for. This was like meh at the ending. Like the ending it destroyed the whole Iron Man match for me. I'm sorry. I just didn't understand. Like, so you made me sit here for a whole hour and watch these guys, and I have no ending now. It's the never-ending story for WWE. It's like, this is what you guys like to do. Piss people off and give us these matches and make us do more to where we have to wait yet again. I'm going with AEW, friend.
StatKing, I know you probably didn't watch NXT this week, did you?
I didn't watch it, but I did read it. And my question, normally I don't. The concept of a fatal four-way where you can have disqualifications and there's no disqualification and count out, and an Iron Man match where disqualification and countouts will count for points. That part didn't make sense to me at first.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I thought if they were gonna have a tie, then or two people who were tied in falls, you would then in essence restart the match, but only have them two be in it and go final fall to a finish. Or what Krissi's saying about having, maybe have somebody have 3 falls, 2, and then somebody does 2, and then the person who has 2 is the first challenger the next week.
Right.
But for me, I like the AEW show, but obviously that's one I watch. But yeah.
We got the tie. We got the tie for the Iron Man match at 9:59.
Yep.
They argued at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
And then they made the match at 10:01.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but you guys are way too critical of NXT. I am going to give this win pretty easily to WWE NXT this week because AEW Dynamite put on the weakest go-home show that they have ever put on for any pay-per-view.
I didn't know.
That is actually very true.
I didn't know if I was able to just jump straight into Dynamite, but I agree with you 100%.
That was also one of the worst episodes of AEW Dynamite the entire year. It had the worst main event I have ever seen from AEW Dynamite because that lawyer that MJF has, I felt bad for him. I did not feel any type of reason for me to root on Jon Moxley, who is by far one of the best baby faces in professional wrestling today. But I felt bad for the lawyer because they never gave you a chance to hate the lawyer enough to want to see him get beat up by Jon Moxley. So it didn't make sense for that match to be 5 fucking minutes. I didn't understand why that was so long. The opening match was good, but they botched the finish with Best Friends and Proud and Powerful. The 8-man tag was really good because of the Young Bucks and their storytelling. Like I said, the segment for the tag team titles was the best thing on the show. The layers to this Hangman Page Elite storyline, I call it the Saga of the Elite. The Ballad of Hangman Page is the most compelling storyline in all of professional wrestling. So that was the highlight of the show. MJF and and the way they put him over in the end was great, and he was great the whole entire night. But why have blood in that final segment if Chris Jericho is bloodying Joey Janela for no reason? I'm not too critical of Chris Jericho in the ring, especially with that match, because it only got 3 minutes, and it just had me left with just asking the question, who did Joey Janela piss off backstage? Because that's how I felt after watching the match, because I was like, Joey Janela is the same guy that went 50-50 with Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, and Jon Moxley, and he loses to Chris Jericho in 3 minutes. So that made no fucking sense. It's the worst, and I'm only saying this because they've had stellar go-home shows. The go-home show, Full Gear, had that fun-ass brawl between the Elite and the Inner Circle. The go-home show for Revolution had the weigh-in between Jericho and Moxley. The go-home show for Double or Nothing had the great brawl inside the stadium to build up Stadium Stampede. This didn't have that cliffhanger to make you want to go see the pay-per-view. This is one of the weakest Dynamite episodes of the entire year, so I give it to NXT hands down, because the Fatal 4-Way Iron Man match did one thing. It made a number and a majority of the fans that are fans of NXT want to watch next week, to watch Finn Balor versus Adam Cole. And I was one that found out the spoiler that the match was going to end in a tie, and I was just like you guys. I was like, oh man, they promised a new champion, but they're going to deliver a tie. But then I saw the actual match, and I saw that finish. That finish was phenomenal. To have Finn Balor get the victory with 12 seconds left, and literally he's in the ring celebrating, and Wade Barrett's like, oh my god, he's going to be the new champion, and then Adam Cole come out of nowhere, last shot, and him desperation trying to get the cover before the time runs out, and he gets the cover to tie it up, was a great finish. And that's how you build up episodic television. So I really enjoyed the finish. I really enjoyed that match. It was all about that match. It wasn't really about anything else that I mentioned. So I give it to NXT this week.
So I had a bunch of problems with the AEW episode, actually. I don't understand why, when they were building the tension or selling us on the Battle Royale, they had these guys fighting, just brawling in the ring. They cut to commercial, and it's picture-in-picture, and they come back, and it's still not done. We have no idea what exactly is supposed to be happening. The refs they show have no control over the situation. Then, when it comes to Janela and Jericho, Jericho makes Janela bleed, but Sonny Kiss doesn't come out to make the save until Orange Cassidy is the one getting beaten up. But Sonny Kiss's tag team partner is Janela, not Cassidy. Then, finally, with the main event, to me, I think you're right. They didn't build any I just felt kind of granted, I felt sympathy for the lawyer getting his ass handed to him, but. The thing is that all Jon Moxley asked for was a match with the lawyer. They could have had Wardlow, as soon as the bell rang, knock Jon Moxley out, cause disqualification, and then have MJF just transition straight to the beatdown. And then you are angry at the lawyer, because then it looks as though the lawyer found a way around the page 17 plan and was like, all right, yeah, we're gonna find a way to screw this guy no matter what. And then finally, they're having Max do all these things to Jon Moxley, and they had referees out for this battle to stop these guys when they're brawling in the ring, but nobody comes out to. They just ring the bell 8,000 times instead of having referees come out and be like, get off of him, get off of him. That it would have made sense to me if at that point, I know they're not trying to have him be the Vince McMahon character, but if they'd had somebody like Tony Khan come out and at least try to get Max off of Moxley, because otherwise it's just I don't know. That part kind of dragged on a little bit too much for me. But
so in a nutshell, it just sounds like right at that with the downing of what transpired with AEW Dynamite, it just kind of like they're going up against their own selves.
No, I compared it to NXT, and NXT had the stronger show.
I mean that. I guess. Listen, I guess that's going to be the opinion. But
here's the thing: I didn't watch NXT, but AEW was live. They had at least 24 hours, roughly speaking, to figure out. Okay, this is what NXT did. We at least need to. Even if we're not up against them, they are still our competition. We need to do better than them. We need to have a better product than them. So if
or not even just have a great go home show for your
sure. Yeah.
And I also didn't like Thunder Rosa going 10 minutes with debuting talent and not just squashing somebody or just doing a promo segment. And no Sheeta, that just ruined what has been a solid build up to this women's title match. So that's why I just feel AEW had one of its worst shows of the year. I'm still looking forward to All Out, but this was a weak show.
Colleen has seen Thunder Rosa live in person. She is watching every single week with me with Dynamite. She's super excited for All Out, and even she was like, this match, she was like, this seems good, and I was like, yeah, but it's going too long. And as soon as I told her, I was like, this is Rosa's debut. She should either be squashing this person, or something should be going on, because if you're telling me that Serena Deeb is able to go as long and keep Rosa in the ring, then my champion, who's been knocking people out with the knee and Falcon Arrow, should have no problem putting Thunder Rosa away. Why do I feel any kind of danger for Sheeta's title?
Exactly. We have to move on to our WWE news. In a passionate Instagram video message, the former 7-time WWE champion The Rock announced that he, along with his wife and 2 young daughters, tested positive for COVID-19. They contracted the virus from close family members. Thankfully, they are now all healthy, but we have to send our thoughts and prayers to The Rock. I know you have a bottle of Terramana right there with you, Top Guy JJ.
Absolutely. And seeing that was like, damn, man. The shit is when you think, we said, like, shit just can't get any crazier. Like, the real life people's champion can't escape fucking COVID. Nope. Neither can his family. So it was amazing to see that not only him, but his family recover from this. Mm-hmm. So this Terry Monatos is to you, my friend. Like, I was so happy to hear that you guys recovered from this. And you guys are back in. I see that you back in the Iron Paradise already, kicking ass. Trailblazing, sweating in that 122-degree gym. So cheers to that, man. And cheers to fucking can we get through 2020?
Doesn't seem like we will anytime soon.
Right, I feel.
In another shocking reveal, we had AJ Styles admit that he also tested positive for the COVID-19 virus just a couple of weeks ago, actually. We also, this week, we had to send off one of our favorites from WWE as Mauro Ranallo announces that he has decided to leave WWE. Both sides put out statements saying their split was amicable, and Mauro says that he will be focusing on his other projects as well as being an advocate for mental health. And speaking of the commentary booth for NXT,
good for him.
Absolutely. Wade Barrett is reportedly working out a deal to become the new commentator for WWE NXT. Krssi Love, what's been your thoughts on Wade Barrett on commentary over the last couple of weeks?
He's not bad, actually. I actually am enjoying him. Is Beth Phoenix at home?
Yes.
So she comments from home.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
What do you want from her? She got kids.
I get that, and I understand that. I mean, listen, do like everyone else and just don't come. They'll understand.
Hey, if you can do it if you can work from home.
But that's why it sounds like it's so like off, like she's like off. You understand what I'm saying? Like it sounds like she's like it's like delayed. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Maybe, okay, because I'm like, do I feel? Because I'm like, I don't see her, but they keep showing Wade and the other guy, which are really good, by the way. But then I was like, Mauro and Beth is just like, they sound like they like 3 blocks away. Like we're coming, but they're not there yet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, if you could work from home, I give it up for her.
I mean, it's beautiful, but hearing it when I'm watching it, it just sounds like. You understand
I agree with her. I do. I just think that Beth should just transition into doing like visual interviews with people, and then just let it be the 2-man commentary team, because Wade did he sounded pretty damn good.
But these last 2 weeks, he's been good. I mean,
he sounded pretty damn good. I'll give it to him. He sounded pretty good. And it kind of it sounds like Beth is kind of off key.
right, like,
And it's not her fault. It's not her fault at all.
It's not her fault at all. It's just that it's not put together good. Like, it's supposed to be 100%, and it's like Wade and the other guy are good, and they're there, and they're going back, and their feet. Remember, your feet off of each other. You're there together.
Yeah.
He's not in the mix of feeding. Once everything gets better, she'll be back. But like as of now, like I guess we'll just have to hear from her like later on. But it's not. It doesn't sound good. Like she has to like be with the guys like and mesh together. You know what I'm saying? Like or maybe do like I don't know. Like tell Ed to like get a flight over somewhere. Or get I don't know.
Also, Nigel McGuinness will be coming back to WWE very soon. He'll probably be a part of the NXT UK brand. In an interview with Scott, yeah, that's coming back in the middle of September.
September 17th.
Yes, in an interview with Sports Illustrated, Renee Young admits that she felt slighted by WWE's reaction to her testing positive for COVID-19 and was bothered by them not seeming concerned. She also admitted WWE's reaction to her husband Jon Moxley leaving to AEW was very weird, as they wanted her to act like he never existed. Raw finished with a 1.896 million viewers, which is down from 2.028 million the previous week. SmackDown finished with 2.144 million viewers, down slightly from the week before for themselves. PW Insider announces that WWE signed Evolve's Brandy Lauren, Anthony Green, Josh Briggs, Kurt Stallion, and Joe Gacy. And in related news, Heel by Nature reports that WWE is having issues trademarking Evolve after buying the company earlier this summer. AEW news, you heard it first on AEW Dark StatKing. Excalibur makes his return to AEW Dynamite this week. I will say Excalibur adds a lot to like just storylines and certain wrestlers, and he doesn't come off like a salty old man. I'm looking at you, JR.
I'll say on Dynamite, did JR not step? He put his foot in his mouth during that women's match, boy. And he spent the rest of that match just like sucking up to women's wrestling, and I was like, we caught that shit.
Hey, he said he dated. I think he said he dated Mildred Burke or some bullshit. I was just like, JR, just shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up sometimes.
No, it was what was it? The joke was that he said he wasn't around to call her matches. He wasn't old enough to call her matches, but he dated her or something like that. So that was
just awful. Just awful.
It wasn't awful. It's sad.
That was the second.
I was just sorry. I was just gonna say Excalibur is amazing to have back. It's just the dynamic that he brings and his ability to pull things out of the others. That I thought was really, really great.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. Excalibur adds a lot to like the ongoing storylines, but I will say JR only had the second worst thing said by an old man on Dynamite last night, as Jake the Snake Roberts said, "You're like two squirrels searching for a nut, but you're not gonna bust a nut when we're in the ring." Yes. One of the best quotes from Jake the Snake Roberts. NWA World Women's Champion Thunder Rosa is currently working without a deal with AEW, as she is working under their partnership with NWA for her match versus Shida at All Out. AEW World Champion Jon Moxley finishes at number 1 on the PWI 500, with Adam Cole finishing at number 2. This is from the period of July 2019 to July 2020. Miss Krssi Love, you have called Jon Moxley's move to AEW the Hot Girl Summer, and this is a payoff to your Hot Girl Summer. So what's your thoughts on him finishing off number 1?
As deserved. Duh. Like you like the person that has to break up with someone that they knew was like dogging them down and doing mad dirt to them, like just doing horrible shit to them, and then you come out on top, and now look at you now. Now you look at me now.
Look at me now. Hey, exactly. Look at me now.
Oh, that's all I'm saying. Just look at me and like, ta-ta. And I got my wife with me now. Fuck you, bitches.
Tony Khan during Thursday's All Out conference call says that I thought Double or Nothing kicked the crap out of WrestleMania. I thought it was a much better pay-per-view. I think we all will agree on that one.
I mean, you know, these things. The emoji that goes like that.
I mean,
I think that was an obvious point.
So news, bro. I mean,
right.
Hey, he said facts. With the return of limited capacity fans to AEW Dynamite tapings, we have a note on the precautions they have been taking. AEW had a strict social distancing guidelines and required all fans to wear masks. PW Insider reported that AEW has been enforcing their policy strictly, with fans being ejected if they are not following rules. And the schedule for AEW this weekend will be Friday, a special AEW Dark, as the StatKing will be reviewing Dark Power. He will be reviewing 2 episodes of AEW Dark this week. Saturday we'll have All Out Red Carpet Part 1. It will have the countdown to All Out on TNT. It will have All Out Red Carpet Part 2 on YouTube at 6 p.m. All Out The Buy-In will be at 7 p.m. on pay-per-view and Fight TV. And All Out at 8 p.m. will be on pay-per-view and BR Live. New Japan news, we have IWGP US Champion, the current AEW Champion. Jon Moxley is currently working without a deal with New Japan Pro Wrestling, but they are working things out so he can return once things settle for the traveling. Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Will Ospreay will return to New Japan for the G1 Climax tournament, which will begin on September 19th and run through October 18th. What's your thoughts on the return of Will Ospreay during the G1, Top Guy JJ?
It's going to be refreshing. I hope he kind of gets to the gear that he was in a year ago, because he had some arguments of being the best in the business if we go back to a little bit, but it, obviously it died down a little bit. Pandemics hit and shit, and he's been kind of off the grid for a little while, and he's probably not lost any edge. He's probably gotten a little bit better. But we now have to see it happen, to see it apply, because there was some serious arguments that Will Ospreay was in line to becoming the best wrestler in the world. And it kind of obviously just faded off, and then this shitstorm of 2020 just fucking ended that.
I wouldn't say he faded off. I think he was the best wrestler in ring of 2019, and he just hasn't been able to perform in 2020.
But that's what I'm saying, is that we were arguing about him being the best. And this crappy ass year has nothing to do with him.
But you use the term fading off, so that could be misinterpreted by people.
Because it's faded off by us because we haven't seen him.
Yeah, no, but it didn't fade off. He just hasn't performed. That's different. It's different. Fading off. Fading off means that he wasn't at the same level anymore.
Don't try to correct me on what I meant.
I am thinking about our viewers at home that are listening, sir. Fred Rossi, or AKA the former Darren Young, will make his debut with New Japan on New Japan Strong this week. Yes, apparently he does, and you can check out that review for New Japan Strong on J News Japan. Impact Wrestling News, the new Impact World Champion Eric Young confirms that he signed a 2-year deal with the promotion upon his return in an interview with Fightful Select. Impact Knockouts Champion Deonna Purrazzo is reportedly still working without a deal with the promotion right now, which is very strange. ROH News, the tournament the pure title tournament will consist of these wrestlers. We will see Matt Sydal, Delirious, Jay Lethal, Dalton Castle, Jonathan Grisham, Tracy Williams, Kenny King, Silas Young, David Finlay, Rocky Romero, PJ Black, Josh Woods, Fred Yeehaw making his ROH debut, Tony Deppen, Wheeler Utah, and Russ Taylor, which the brackets are set to be be revealed on September 7th episode of ROH Week by Week. The format for the tournament are as follows. Competitors will be divided in 2 blocks and it's single elimination. Round 1 will be a 15-minute time limit. The semifinals will be a 20-minute time limit. The block finals will have a 30-minute time limit, and the tournament finals will have a 1-hour time limit. There will be 3 judges for each match, and the time limit draws will go to a judge's decision. And the ROH Board of Directors, Director of Operations, Gary Juster has been announced as one of the judges so far, and ROH has announced they have launched a new 24/7 linear streaming service similar to the WWE Network and New Japan World. It is best on the planet. The service can be found on STIR channel 357, so that's big news for ROH. Other wrestling news, Mike Bennett will challenge Nick Aldis for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, as NWA will be teaming up with UWN for Prime Time Live, which is going to debut on September 15th. That is another show of wrestling on Tuesday nights for you, StatKing, so you can review that. What are your thoughts on Mike Bennett getting the shot at the NWA World's title?
I like it. I want to know if this is going to be something that is a long-term thing for Mike Bennett, and obviously Maria. She'll be. They work very well, obviously, since they're married. But I like the idea of kicking off this weekly pay-per-view series with an NWA World's title match. You got to have some kind of hook to get people involved. Obviously, they know NWA's coming back, but you got to find a way to ask them, hey, if this is a pay-per-view. It's going to be weekly. You're asking them to, pay something and how do you get people to do that, especially in times like this? Well, we're going to say, hey, we're going to give you a world title match, and on top of that, it's going to be somebody who was recently released from WWE. Maybe they have a bone to pick. Maybe they're going to be coming out and showing out why that company should not have let them go in the first place. So I like the idea of it. I want to see how they execute it, because I know that there's going to be. I think they wanted to do. As part of the weekly pay-per-view, I think they want to have one of the titles being defended every single week. And so I think that between this announcement plus Thunder Rosa being on All Out, it's kind of just building that momentum for when they do come back. So see how they do it.
It's a very interesting time for NWA for sure. MLW is set to return to television this fall with a new name and time on beIN Sports, DAZN, and Fabu. Rumors going around that AAA may potentially buy CMLL in Mexico, with both promotions being out of commission right now. And Kevin Nash is the latest to reveal that he and his family have also tested positive for COVID-19 over the past few months. Right now, his wife is still in pretty bad condition, but we send our prayers out to Kevin Nash and his family. So finally, we have our preview for AEW All Out. All Out is considered the WrestleMania of All Elite Wrestling because of the All In and the importance of that show in 2018. That was the show that was the catalyst for the invention of All Elite Wrestling. So All Out is considered the biggest show of the year for AEW. So we will start off with the buy-in, like we said before, during our AEW Dynamite review, Tooth and Nail match. This will be a cinematic match inside of Goat Baker's dentist's office, as it will be Big Swole going one-on-one with Dr. Goat Baker, as I like to call her. This feud has been on and off for the past 6 months, it seems, ever since Goat Baker was injured back in May. They have been going back and forth. We've seen Swole throw her in the garbage after abducting the Rolls Royce golf cart. We've seen Big Swole getting attacked this week with a crush and pizza. So who will win here? Swole versus Baker in the Tooth and Nail match. We'll start with you, Miss Krssi Love.
Miss Baker for the win.
Go to Baker for the win. StatKing.
Baker, absolutely.
Top guy JJ.
Are we really asking this question?
I mean, I like Big Swole. Don't get me wrong.
This is the wrong spot for Big Swole.
Right.
This is Goat Baker is coming back and she's coming back with a fucking bang.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think this is the end of the feud, so I'm gonna actually go with Big Swole here. I think Big Swole needs a victory here, and I think this is gonna be a big one for her. We got in the match that was just made this past week on Dynamite, the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson, will verse Jurassic Express, the Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy. This one is sure to be very exciting in the ring. Who do you have, Top Guy JJ?
Gotta go with the Young Bucks, man. Like they this is, they need this one. They need this one. I love this edge that they're coming off with, because at some point we're gonna get this battle with FTR.
Yeah.
At some motherfucking point we're gonna get this battle with FTR, and the Young Bucks need to just start picking up some wins and start whipping some ass.
Yep.
I'm gonna also go with the Young Bucks in this one. Krssi Love.
I got Young Bucks too, friend.
StatKing.
Young Bucks.
This one is yes, unanimous. This one is the Casino Battle Royal, as I did my article for Sportskeeda ranking the build-up for all the matches at All Out. I would say this is the weakest build-up of any of the matches. Casino Battle Royal will determine the number one contender for the AEW World Championship. It will be Darby Allin, Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Phoenix, Pentagon, The Butcher, The Blade, Eddie Kingston, and more to be announced. It's also going to have Shawn Spears, Proud and Powerful, Jake Hager, and the Best Friends. Who do you have in this one, StatKing?
Darby, but only because I'm predicting something happening in the main event. So,
Krssi Love.
This is a hard one, but I'll agree with John and go with Darby, because I love Darby.
I am going to go with Lance Archer, because Lance Archer has to win something eventually.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Everybody dies eventually. Top Guy JJ?
Fucking took you stole my thunder there, man, because I was like, I feel like the resurrection of Lance Archer is coming. Okay. And that shitty promo, or that whatever the fuck Jake the Snake was talking about. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about, but Lance Archer, I think, needs this more than anyone in this entire match. Like, because he is fading quickly.
Like, he came in hot, and then now he's gone.
Right. Like, once he lost that TNT Championship match, it was straight downhill from there.
This one is probably the second weakest match on the card. We have the Dark Order with the new TNT champion Brody Lee teaming up with Colt Cabana, Stu Grayson, and Evil Uno versus Natural Nightmares, Matt Cardona, and Scorpio Sky. Basically, the friends of Cody Rhodes. This one is all building up from Brody Lee defeating Cody and destroying him, taking him out to win the TNT championship. I am going to go in this one with Cody's friends, with Matt Cardona getting the victory to set up a matchup with Brody Lee for the TNT championship. Who do you have, Miss Krssi Love?
I was gonna say Dark Order, but now that you put your call on it, I'm gonna go with what you just said and put Cody's best friend and make them win.
StatKing.
I remember how this feud started. And when Dustin ran out to make the save, and I was just like, please do not tell me that they're going to put Dustin up against Brody Lee at All Out for the TNT title. So the fact that we could potentially get a Matt Cardona versus Brody Lee match, I want to give the win to Cody's best friends so that we can get that for when Cody eventually comes back from convalescing.
Can I just say before JJ answer his prediction, that Brody Lee is like second for having a hot girl summer too. Just saying.
He's definitely having a hot girl end of summer. I
like that. Okay, end of summer. Yes, go ahead.
He got fly for Labor Day weekend.
You're right. Exactly.
Went to the shop, got a new belt. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Top Guy.
I hope the Dark Order wins and just whips all their asses, and it leads to Cody's return, because I don't want to see a TNT title match against none of them.
True.
Like I'm not excited for Brody Lee to face any of them. Like, why would like I don't like why like woo 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 ain't doing a damn thing for me at all. Like it'd be cool to see, you know, Dustin give Brody a decent match, but we know the outcome.
Yeah.
Okay, Dark Order takes this one. They assume to beat their asses, and Cody returns.
Hey, Cody is not ready to return. He's still filming the Stephen Amell's Heels for Showtime, so you have to actually pay off spending money on Matt Cardona at all. Regardless of how many times he's going to be used, you have to pay him off and have a big blow off. He only has 2 more appearances, so that's why I think he wins here to set up a match with Brody Lee. Next up, we got Broken Rules. No disqualification, no count out. Last man standing. If Matt Hardy loses, he will leave AEW. It is Matt Hardy going one-on-one with his arch nemesis, Sammy Guevara. This one heated up tremendously after Sammy Guevara threw a chair in Matt Hardy's face, busting him wide open and putting him through a table. He also defeated Matt in a tables match last week on AEW Dynamite. So who do you got in this one, Top Guy JJ?
I hope Sammy Guevara ends the career of Matt Hardy in AEW.
Wow.
Like I was all for broken Matt. But when he started all of these other personalities that I can give 2 flying fucks about, this Matt don't die bullshit, like this whole split personality, like there's no room for all of this nonsense. You should just been what we found to love you to be when we fell in love with you. Like nobody cared about Matt don't die. Like no one cared.
It was cute in the beginning. It was funny.
Please, Sammy Guevara, Spanish God, do me the service of ending this shit, because you need to go to greener pastures.
StatKing?
So, a part of me wants Sammy to win. Because Sammy is the young talent who should be getting the rub on the big pay-per-view in the moment and so on and so forth. However, JJ, it sounds like you just don't know how hard it is to be Matt Hardy.
I know.
I love the
YouTube promos.
I gotta give this to Matt Hardy because I don't think his time in AEW is over, and I think that I would have if but for the stipulation of if Matt Hardy loses he's gone, I would 100% want Sammy to win, or say predict that Sammy's going to win. But because of that stipulation, I got to give it to Hardy.
Miss Krssi Love.
I have to agree. I would love for Sammy to win, but Sammy has won the last 2 matches that they've had. We have to give something to Matt Hardy. Give him a reason why he left his job. Well, I mean, was he a free agent or whatever? Anywho, it doesn't really even matter. He left his other job so that he can do better things at this job, and that's why we make career moves so we can have better careers. Anywho, I'm going to go with Matt because I don't see him leaving as of yet. I am like JJ with the gimmick. I am getting like, okay, how much longer are we going to do this? Like, let's just stay as one. Like, it was cute when you did, like, the whole, when you was, like, driving in the go-kart against Sammy, when you damn near almost killed him. Like, it was cute when you was, like, doing the multiple personalities. That's fine. It was funny. It was cute. Right now, let's just get one personality. He
is one personality right now.
He's broken. Okay. He's broken right now.
No, he's not broken. He's
whatever.
He's just
Matt Hardy can't die.
He's just Matt Hardy can't die because broken Matt Hardy doesn't work without fans. So that's why he went to just doing the Matt Hardy. I'm going with Matt Hardy.
I'm going with Matt Hardy, friend.
I agree with Krssi Love and StatKing. I'm going with Matt Hardy here. His career is not going to be over. AEW Women's Championship is on the line. Hikaru Shida will versus the NWA Women's Champion Thunder Rosa. This is a battle of AEW versus NWA. This has been a solid build-up besides that final week, but who wins between 2 of the best women's wrestlers in the world? I am going to go with Shida in this one. Miss Krssi Love.
Shida.
StatKing.
Shida.
Top Guy JJ.
Oh, wow. Why bring Thunder Rosa over there? Right? I hope that this is I hope that this is going to be a fantastic match that it should be. Kushida has been putting on some great matches. She's been putting on some great matches for the AEW Women's Division, keeping that shit alive. I'm gonna be the oddball here. I'm gonna go Thunder Rosa with the surprise.
Ooh, okay.
Mimosa Mayhem match. It will be the final encounter between Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho. You can win by pinfall, submission, or throwing your opponent into gallons upon gallons of mimosa. Who do you got, StatKing? I agree with you. I agree with you, sir. Krssi Love.
Man. Wow, really? Oh, okay. Damn, I'm actually really torn between this one because I like them both, and I really don't. Who has the most wins right now?
In the feud, it's tied.
It's 1-1.
It's a rubber match.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's why they're having the third match.
And I know this is being recorded, but nobody tell my girlfriend that I voted for Orange Cassidy.
Okay.
Well, we also do this for audio, so thank you for saying your pick.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Krssi Love.
Cassidy for the win.
And top guy JJ.
Just hope Cassidy wins to end this because Mimosa Mayhem. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't get it.
What the fuck?
Whatever.
Just don't even try to sell me on the bullshit.
This doesn't doesn't seem like a match that.
No, I'm not a fan of this match at all.
This doesn't seem like a match the babyface should go in the mimosa.
Right.
Yeah, right. And whatever, you went into a whole fucking pool of alcohol. Great. Drink the shit.
And we have in my opinion, the best built matchup for this pay-per-view. The AEW World Tag Team titles are on the line. Hangman Page and Kenny Omega will defend against FTR with Tully Blanchard. This is all a part of the saga of the Elite. This great title run with Omega and Page. The crisis of confidence going through the head of Hangman Page. He cost the Young Bucks the tag team gauntlet because he didn't want to verse his best friends again, or he didn't want to give them the chance to beat him. We don't know. FTR got his head. We just know that is a fact. But who wins, FTR versus Omega and Page? I will start with you, Krssi.
Hangman and Omega have to. I mean, they've had a great run. It's fun, but it's now time to hang it up and go because they're going to have a feud against each other. So I think that FTR has now made their move, and they'll have another late in the summer fun and say fuck you to the other friends that's over there on the other show, and they will win. Yay!
Who you got, StatKing?
Hey.
FTR. It is time. I've appreciated everything that Kenny and Hangman have done. I thought that they were going to lose at Fyter Fest to Best Friends, and then a week later, when I see they're having another title defense, I was like, where's the plan with this?
Yep.
But now you see where the plan is, and it's FTR picking up the win at All Out. So definitely FTR.
Top guy JJ.
I mean, definitely agreeing with FTR, but I am hoping for one little smidget to happen here. I hope that this is the breaking point where we finally get the completion of Kenny Omega's heel turn.
I don't think we're going to see.
So.
I don't think we're going to see the breakup of Hangman and Kenny just yet because I want to see that three-way between those two teams and the Young Bucks. But I am going to go with FTR in this one, and we're going to see another breakdown of Hangman Page possibly. And in the main event, the AEW World Championship is on the line. Jon Moxley will defend against the number one contender, the undefeated MJF. Jon Moxley's paradigm shift is banned from use in this matchup. This has been one of the best built world title feuds in AEW history. But who do you got? MJF versus Jon Moxley, two undefeated guys in 2020 going at it. We'll start with you, top guy.
I'm gonna go based on the performance of that main event that Jon Moxley had. Like that shit was ass. I think it's time for a change of the guard right here. A controversial finish, a change of the guard. We want MJF 2020. We deserve better. And I think this gets culminated by MJF becoming the AEW champion.
Woo.
Who you got, Krssi Love?
Um, I'm going to have to agree with JJ for the fact that it, MJF is just on a high right now, and it's just like, what's it all for if it doesn't pay off in the end? You know, understand what I'm saying? Like, I think it's. I love John. Don't get me wrong. I've been saying he has a hot girl summer. You know, I'm one of his cheerleaders, but I think Million Dollar Man Jr. MJF to win.
And StatKing.
Max has got to win this match.
I disagree with all of you. MJF does not need to win here. He is the heel. He got put over in this feud. He had his best promo yet with that podium promo that set up this match. He's had great performances on the mic against Jon Moxley, and there's always the underlining teases that we've seen over the last few months with him and Wardlow, where you can see Wardlow inadvertently costing him the match, and then he can segue into a feud with his former bodyguard. Jon Moxley has a lot left on the table, a lot meat left on the bone of his title reign, and like I said, Lance Archer is the next up, and I think he's not done feuding with MJF, but I got Jon Moxley winning this one here.
I will
That's a good analysis.
That's a hell of an argument, man. That's
a
hell of an argument.
I'm going to change mine just for that one. I'm going with John.
I concur with it. Listen, man, we deserve better.
Right.
like MJF ain't gonna cut the promo of 2020 and not get a reward for this shit. Like, that shit was the promo of the fucking year. Like, that was the state of wrestling right there, and that shit needs a payoff. Like, I loved it. Like, I just want to see it. Like, I'm not. This is not a matter of need. This is just I want to see this shit happen.
Yeah.
I will say that I think one of the reasons why I could see them keeping it on John is that people are starting to come back. And one thing to remember is that when he won it, it was here, it was that Revolution, it was February, and then quarantine happened. He never really got a chance to have live crowds like that. He had the post-match speech, he had the Dynamite afterwards, and so on and so forth. So I could see them doing it for that reason, but I'm sticking with MJF because it's just so, it's just levels of compelling to me. And I just want to add for the tag title match, how funny will it be if 2 years in a row Hangman loses at All Out?
Wow.
The whole storyline with Hangman started last year at All Out.
And to piggyback kind of like off of what John and SP said with the title match, like, I don't believe that Max needs the win.
Yeah.
But the thing is that John is a fucking draw. So it's like he is a draw. So this is a hard one to pick.
Because you can also have as people are coming back, the draw is John chasing the title again,
like,
and trying to get it back.
We already had almost 1 million viewers to this fucking main event. They had almost 1 million people watch. Like, it's hard to change the guard on that when they are doing so well with him being champion and being on TV. Like, he's right. He's got a lot left on the table. He does.
I see this as a lot of New Japan booking, where New Japan, you could see who the champions are going to be a year out, and I feel like the current AEW Tag Team Champions are in better positions to be the next two champions than Maxwell. Maxwell has time. He's 24 years old. He's been undefeated. We need to see him react to a loss before he gets to win the world title.
And then Lion said he really didn't lose. And
exactly.
With some type of like excuse saying, I didn't lose. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, there's like, okay, I see it, Sid. I got you. I see it.
That's why I want Wardlow to cost him so he can blame Wardlow for the loss.
Question for you guys. How are you guys feeling about the crowd being at AEW? Now that we have more people there. Remember, we just had the people in the front. We just had like the AEW stars. Now we have actual like an audience. How are you guys feeling about the audience?
I think they need to be a little bit louder, but also I think that might be because they are slowly phasing them in. I know they said they're going to be at 10% capacity, but I think it sounds as though they kind of just were on the safe side and went even fewer than 10% capacity. And I think All Out, we will see them go all out to 10% capacity, or at least be like, hey, you guys like you're paying tickets and everything, but also could you make some noise? Like there's sometimes where it's
They can't. You can't make noise because that promotes spreading the virus. That's what New Japan has done. They need more crowd. They need more crowd sweetening. The crowd sweetening for WWE has added a lot to their television, and that's what AEW needs to do, unfortunately.
Even with the whole mask on their face, though.
No, they still can't. You can't yell out. That's still gonna spread it out, even with the masses on their face, and you can't hear them that well with the masses on their face as well.
That's also true. Okay, I agree.
But we have to wrap things up, guys. Our outro for this one, you guys can check out our lineup on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, our pay-per-view roundtables for WWE Payback starring Top Guy JJ, our New Japan Pro Wrestling Summer Struggle and Jenku roundtable is up right now as well. One of our best episodes yet of True Rewind as we review World War III 1995 with Heel Steven. Check out his YouTube channel. Great guy. He does a great impersonation of Macho Man Randy Savage on that episode, so check that out. An all-new All Elite recap starring me, as well as Dark Power reviewing 2 episodes of AEW Dark, as well as the new Impact World Champion and Eric Young will be up this weekend. And check out our All Out pay-per-view roundtable, which will be up on the YouTube channel at the beginning of next week. StatKing, any plugs for Dark Power or where they can find you on social media?
You can't really find me anywhere on social media, so make sure to watch Dark Power, and thanks guys for having me.
Hey.
Thank you once again for joining us for our All Out preview, sir. You bring us Chicago. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Top Guy JJ, where can they find you?
Tru Heel _ Top Guy JJ. That's the Instagram one. Justin Johnson. You can find me on Facebook. I will definitely be looking forward to that round table for All Out because unfortunately I'm going to be missing the entire pay-per-view for the best reason in the world. I am going to visit my baby. So I am out literally at the start time of All Out. I will be flying out.
Sound good. Have a safe trip, sir. Miss Krssi Love.
You can find me on IG and Facebook. I am the stage Miss Krssi Love, Miss Krssi Love _ and just Crystal Lynch on Facebook and Twitter.
Guys, you can follow the Tru Heels on Facebook as well as Tru Heel Heat on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our good friends at Battle Club Pro, they're up on all 3 platforms, as well as Wrestling Travel, our Indie Wrestling Expo. Check those out on Fight TV, and Warrior Wrestling. You can check them out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Like I said at the top of the show, you can also check out Warrior Wrestling promoter Steve Tortorello. He will be on Tru Heel Heat 91 next week. Our good friends at Uncanny Attractions, you can check them out on Facebook as well as Twitter. And to Wrestling Travel, congratulations to them on hitting 1K. Our good friend Alex McCarthy, who was on Tru Heel Heat 87, also hit 1K. Tom Conahue, who was on our roundtable for Summer Struggle, just hit 500 subscribers on YouTube, so check them out as well. Jimmy Macaram just hit 37,000 viewers on his YouTube channel. Congratulations to him, and check out Ozark and Umbrella Academy reviews up on the YouTube channel right there. And
I have a new show for you guys to review now.
Well, give me those on the side. My Battery is Dying, Miss Krssi Love's favorite YouTube channel with Marcus Cash. You can check him out and subscribe to there. And of course, you can listen to Tru Heel Heat on all your favorite audio platforms. So, for the princess of all the Tru Heels, Miss Krssi Love.
Later.
For Top Guy JJ and his Black Panther.
My Black Panther.
For our very special guest, the host of Dark Power, StatKing.
John.
Until Tru Heel Heat 91 with Steve Tortorello of Warrior Wrestling. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat 90. We are signing off until next time.